Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Maria Adu Zakari. Coming up on CAC Weekly, RGCAC rounds up pending promotion exercise. One-man company comes under focus, plus how to register a company seamlessly online. We'll be right back.
As a result of we know we had some clamoring from the SMEs. Okay. People with low income earners that already into the system, they are finding it difficult to meet up. And we had challenges of network glitches. So a lot of issues from first compel us to see reasons to create more opportunities than not to kill opportunities now. So as a result of that, we acceded to the yearnings of the public coming for extension of time. We said, wow, we must extend this. Now, if we want to extend this, let us extend it sufficiently. That is why we jacked it up with 3 months additional opportunity for people to meet up now to 1st of April 2024. But notwithstanding the fact, I made an existing publication which already commenced a proceeding for striking of 100,000 companies that failed to meet up with a lot of obligations on them now. So that one is stands. We extended period and the process will now be terminated.
Welcome back. We begin with the cheering news for the CAC staff. Ensuring adequate staff welfare is no doubt key to improved employee morale and productivity. Whenever staff feel appreciated and their basic needs are taken care of, higher productivity at work is guaranteed. Compassion and care for the staff can enormously improve an organization's corporate image in the eyes of the public. It is against this backdrop and in consonance with his 4-point agenda that Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Shat Magaji-san, commenced and completed the promotion interview for executive staff of the Commission to wrap up the pending 2022 promotion exercise. The exercise will bring on board many executive staff to the directorate cadre as well as other vacancies created for other staff. The bold move will put to rest, among others, the cries of career stagnation that have affected many staff over the years. We say kudos to the Registrar General. Let's now shift attention to business registration. Are you a business owner desirous of registering your company unaided? Please come with us as we show you how to do just that, seamlessly online.
Company registration. To begin, reserve the company name that you intend to register and then proceed to click on Start Registration to begin. Step 1. Enter the details of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Add the objects of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 3. On the Articles of Association, you can either create your own Articles of Association or simply adopt the default Articles of Association provided. You can also edit each part of the default Articles of Association to fit your company's purpose. Click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the Directors, enter the details of at least one director. If you want to hide your residential address from public record, click on the Hide Residential Address from Public Record toggle button. Click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Secretary, this requirement is optional for small companies and you may skip this step by clicking on the Click Here link button to proceed. However, if you wish to add a secretary, click on the Add Secretary button, enter the details of the secretary, and click on Save and Continue. Step 6. Under Statement of Issued Share Capital, add the share details and enter details of proprietor and click on Save and Continue. Note, you must allot the entire issued share capital. Step 7. On the persons with significant control, enter the particulars of the person with significant control of the company. Step 8. On the Statement of Compliance, if you are an applicant or an accredited agent other than a legal practitioner, fill in your details and click on Save and Continue, or you can skip this step. On the Document Upload, Scan and upload all the documents labeled yes under the If Required column, and where the documents labeled Optional applies to you, please scan and upload to avoid a query on your application. Click on Save and continue to preview. Step 9. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on the Proceed to Payment in order to make payment. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. Step 11. After payment, you will be redirected to your dashboard where you will make payment for your stamp duty. After making payment, your application will enter the pending panel on your dashboard under registration. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it.
Wow! What are you waiting for? Hurry now to pre.cac.gov.ng to register your company. We now shift gears and take a look at the one-man company as provided by the reenacted Companies and Allied Matters Act CAMA 2020, alias the Game Changer. The one-man company or the one-person company, depending on your preference, is often defined as a company that has only one person as to its member. Furthermore, members of a company are nothing but subscribers to its memorandum of association or its shareholders. So, an OMC is effectively a company that has only one shareholder as its member. Such companies are generally created when there is only one founder or promoter for the business. And entrepreneurs whose businesses lie in early stages prefer to create OPCs instead of sole proprietorship business because of the several advantages that OMCs offer. CAC Weekly caught up with Justin Nidia-Biral, Director of Compliance, who x-rays the one-man company. Enjoy watching.
Mr. Nidia Justin Biral, Director of Compliance, CAC. Many thanks, sir, for joining us again on the program.
Thank you for having me.
This is the first time we're meeting in the year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Okay, all right. Today, I understand we're looking at the one-man company, which has caused a lot of confusion. People are thinking which one is one man, which one is small company. But let's hear from you. What's a one-man company all about?
Well, a one-man company basically is one of the innovations that was brought in by CAMA 2020.
Okay.
Basically, from legal point of view, it is required that it should be a private company.
Okay.
And so basically, that's the requirement. It should be a
one-man company is a private company.
It's a private company.
Okay. What about a small company? A one-man company is also a small company.
Yes, in a sense, but the differences are what we want to look at today.
Okay, so let's look at the small company, the definition of a small company.
The small company, by definition, is also a private company, but in this case, it's a private company limited by shares.
Okay.
Apart from that, there are other legal requirements, and this includes one, that the company is the private company limited by shares should not have an alien as its member. Then also a government agency or the government itself should not be a member. Then apart from that, it's also required that its turnover under the CAMA 2020 should not exceed 60 million or any amount that may be prescribed by the Commission. Then its net asset also should not be more than 30 million or any amount that has been prescribed by the Commission. So apart from that, there is the last one, that the directors between themselves should have a minimum of 51% shares in the company. Now, the other thing to note about it is that if you look at the requirement, it gives the Commission the power to prescribe both the requirement for turnover and net asset. So the Commission, in order to realign that provision with the Finance Act, reduce the turnover to 25 million naira and the net assets to 12.5 million naira.
Okay.
So that in a nutshell is a small company.
Okay. So for those who think like me that a small company is one small company in one lungu that operates from one small corner, maybe just one room or even half a room. So I mean, that's not the idea that Karma 2020 is bringing about.
Not really. The distinction was brought for certain policy purposes. Okay, so that some of the burdens that may be placed on the big companies are not placed on small companies.
Okay.
And that is to allow them to grow
Okay.
and to also facilitate ease of doing business.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at the differences between a small company and a one-man company.
Okay. Well, the differences between them is one, that, for instance, if you look at the definition of the small company, it says clearly that it's a company limited by shares.
Yes.
So what that means is that it's a private company limited by shares. What that means is that it excludes within its provision a public limited liability company. It also excludes a company limited by guarantee. But in the case of a one-man company, if you look at the definition, it just says that it should be a private company. So what that means is that you could have a guarantee company that is one-man company.
Okay.
But in the case of a small company, a guarantee company cannot be a small company because it stands on a class of its own.
Okay. The differences, what other differences do they have?
The difference is that for the small company also, you could have a situation, no, this time around both of them, if you fall within the category of a small company and also a one-man company that is a small company, you are allowed to have one director.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so that more or less is a similarity.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So going to the similarities properly, I mean, we're done with the differences, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the similarities. What exactly do they have in common? Is it the name? Because they portend small or?
No, we have already mentioned.
Yes, I know now, but when you say one man small company, to some people, I mean, it still means the same scale.
So we have already mentioned, first of all, that both of them could have one director.
Yes.
Then the other advantage they have is that also they are not required in filing annual return to attach financial statements.
Okay.
And that is also meant to facilitate ease of doing business.
Yeah.
So if they are not required to file audited financial statements, it also means that they need not have auditor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the advantages that a one-man company has over a small company?
The advantage the one-man company may have is that from its description as a one-man company, one that is obvious is that it may not require to hold what we call statutory meetings, like the annual general meeting, the board of directors meeting, and for PLC statutory meeting.
Okay.
Since it is a one-man company, it will be a contradiction for a man to meet with himself.
Okay.
But in that case, there is room for what we call flexibility in decision making.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. From experience, which one do we have more? When you look at on your portal, which one do we have more? Which one do people really register for?
Well, like it has been observed, the one-man company is an innovation that was brought in by Kama 2020.
Okay, so it's not that old.
It's not that old and it's not that much.
Okay.
But when you look at the definition of a small company, you could easily find that that's where majority of the companies operating in the company in the country falls in.
If you are going to advise somebody who has not registered any company and is coming to you to say, which one do I go for? Which one will you recommend for a startup?
Well, it depends. It depends on
the kind of business.
It depends on the kind of business. Then it also depends on the kind of control structure that you have. If it is something that would also require a lot of capital, which a person may not be able to mobilize, then it would be better that you will have multiple members that will be able to mobilize capital.
Okay.
But if the person is comfortable and he doesn't want to dilute decision making, then it is advised that he should have the one-man company. Because over time, it was observed that the previous requirement of a minimum of 2 persons to register a company was actually creating problems, because it forced what we call forced marriage in commercial transactions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that will be avoided in one-man company.
Okay. Okay. I also like the fact of a control structure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that people are always apprehensive about.
Yes.
Yeah. So it would be advisable for people to go where they can have control over their business.
Yes, if you want to have control, absolute control over the affairs of your business, then one would advise that you go for the one-man company. Then over time, if you think you have grown to such an extent that you need to bring in other people, there is still room for you for expansion and bring other people.
Okay. But how do people guide their control structure? Not just the one-man company or the small company, but generally, how do people guide their control structure?
Well, usually to avoid conflict that could arise in the management of companies, it is required that the company should have what is called articles of association. And in that articles of association, the rules that govern internal management of the company are clearly specified. So that helps in minimizing conflict, because how decisions are made, how they are implemented, what rules should govern day-to-day management of the companies are usually clearly prescribed in the article of association of the company.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what people should have in mind.
They should have in mind, because if you don't register a company with your own personalized articles of association, there is what we call default article in the Companies and Allied Matters Act.
What do you mean by, before we go into that, what do you mean by personalized article?
A personalized article of association, meaning the one that you prepare by yourself.
Okay, so there must be certain things that you need to indicate.
Indicate that could differ from the standard one that is prescribed in the schedule to the camp.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, people are not really aware when it comes to that personalized articles.
Well, those the professionals that are in the practice are aware of that.
Okay.
So the expectation is that if your client comes to you, you should actually advise him that it's always better to have a personalized article of association.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you now said that failure will lead to default.
It will be assumed that you have adopted the one in the schedule
Okay.
come at 2020. Yes.
And what's the implication?
The implication is that the format that has been prescribed will govern the management of the company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what other things do people need to look out for?
For companies generally,
Yes, to guide their control structure.
you will need to look at the type of operations
Okay.
that you will do. Because in the registration of companies, it is required that you should have what we call objects. That's the aims and objectives of the company.
Okay.
Usually, resources are deployed to the achievement, towards the achievement of the aims and objectives of the company.
Okay.
And it will usually not be ideal that a person will spend resources to pursue objects outside those for which the companies have been registered. Yes.
Okay. I know we just have to leave it here because of time, but I know it's something we need to revisit some other time. Mr. Didier Justin Barrow, thank you very much, sir, for your time as always.
Okay, thank you. That is a privilege.
Thanks for that informative segment, Mr. Justin. Now have a look at this message for company owners.
Attention, business owners. Did you know that failing to file your annual return can put your company at risk? In Nigeria, the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires all registered entities to submit their annual return to the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) or face serious consequences. The listing, striking off the CAC register, these are not just empty threats. They are real risks that can strip you of your business license, cutting off access to government activities, support, subventions, and crucial post-incorporation services. The law is clear. Annual returns are mandatory for the continued recognition of your business as a legal entity. Act now. Good news! Filing your annual return has never been easier. Introducing the CAC Online Portal, your convenient, efficient, and accessible solution to fulfill your annual return obligations. File your annual return online through the CAC Portal today. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and call center. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, we're at CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at Corporate Affairs Commission. You can reach our email at helpdesk@cac.gov.ng. You can reach our website on www.cac.gov.ng. And our call center number is 070-8062-9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time, same station. From me, Maria Ado Zakaria, and the whole team here, it's bye for now.